Why is it that billion-dollar software features offer zero permanent defense against competitors? And how do you survive when trillion-dollar tech giants literally copy your every single move? Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're deconstructing a survival story using rare insights straight from CEO Evan Spiegel, revealing Snap's exact playbook for building unbreakable ecosystems. 1 billion monthly active users. Just think about the sheer scale of that number for a second. Snap isn't just some quirky app from the 2010s. It's a massive global phenomenon that's managed to maintain a highly durable, high-stakes user base for over 15 years. But getting there and actually staying there, well, that brings us to a massive dilemma. So why is it so freaking hard to build a durable social app? Let's be real. Consumer social is basically a graveyard. Almost everyone fails. In the 15 years since Snap launched, independent apps have turned into a total wasteland. Everyone wants to build the next big consumer product, but the reality is brutally difficult. So how exactly did Snap pull it off? Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is the exact survival playbook we're unpacking today. First, the consumer social trap. Second, why software is not a moat. Third, the design innovation engine. Fourth, empathy over feature requests. Fifth, building the hardware moat. And finally, Snap's crucible moment. Section 1, the consumer social trap. Figuring out distribution. Look at recent successes out there. TikTok's strategy? They essentially bought their distribution, spending billions to subsidize creators and viewers. Meta's Threads? They leveraged their massive pre-existing network distribution. But Snap's secret was completely different. They uniquely solved distribution through intimacy rather than massive scale, connecting you to just a few close friends, not everyone on the internet. Section 2, software is not a moat, the vulnerability of great ideas. Snap basically operates as the R&D department for the entire internet. Chronological stories, copied by Meta and others. AR lenses and filters, cloned across all of social media. Swipe-based navigation, adopted as the absolute industry standard. They even invented screenshot detection, tracking when your finger lifted off the screen while holding a photo, replicated by competitors. The painful reality here is that code can and absolutely will be copied. Evan Spiegel puts it perfectly here. He says, 15 years ago, we essentially learned that software is not a moat, which is something that everyone is discovering today with AI. We have to realize how early Snap caught on to this. They knew if their features offered zero defense against trillion-dollar competitors, they needed to start building deep ecosystems, not just standalone features. Section 3, the design innovation engine, the secret organizational sauce. So how do you survive that constant cloning? Spiegel deliberately applies Safi Bahal's concept of loon shots. This is defined as the critical, managed dialogue between a slow, structured operational team and a fast, flat innovation team. Here is how this brilliantly plays out at Snap. On the left side, you have operational rigor, a hierarchical, slow structure totally focused on reliability and scaling up to 1 billion users without crashing. On the right side, you have design velocity, a super flat team of just 9 to 12 people on rotating projects acting as the ultimate product bottleneck. The real magic isn't just having these teams. It's the ungated dialogue in mutual respect between these two completely opposing forces. And the output here is staggering. Hundreds. That's the sheer volume of ideas that tiny design team reviews every single week. Spiegel meets with them for hours, enforcing a relentless creative velocity where egos just have to melt away to maintain that pace. Section 4, empathy over feature requests, the Trojan horse of product design. So how do they invent these ideas? Look at the story format. Step 1, users were actively demanding a send all button for efficiency. Snap could have just built that. But step 2, Snap identifies the underlying anxiety of permanent, reverse chronological feeds with public leg counts. So, step 3, Snap invents chronological disappearing stories with absolutely no public metrics. This is a perfect example of listening to a simple feature request and turning it into a multi-billion-dollar format. Spiegel explains the philosophy beautifully. We listened to all of that, but then we came up with something totally new and different. We empathized and then came up with something new. True innovation means observing human behavior and emotional constraints, not just acting as a short-order cook for your users' feature requests. Section 5, building the hardware moat. Moving off the isolated mobile screen.
Snap's ultimate solution to escaping the software moat problem is leaving the phone entirely. Think about traditional computing. It's isolating, we're hunched over tiny screens, and it removes us from the people sitting right next to us. Now look at Snap's vision, bringing people together and keeping us grounded in the real world with AR glasses. They want to integrate computing naturally into our social lives.
And they didn't just jump into this. This is a deliberate, decade-long hardware evolution. In 2014, the goal was just getting the camera off the phone with early spectacles. Next, they added depth perception via a second camera. Later, they learned to spatially anchor digital objects right into the real world. And now, in 2024, they are releasing a full AR operating system for developers. Software is easy to copy. A vertically integrated hardware ecosystem is definitely not.
Section 6. Snap's crucible moment. The transition to the next platform.
Snap might call themselves the middle child of tech, overshadowed by Meta and Google, but look at their current massive scale. They have roughly 1 billion monthly active users, a 6 billion revenue run rate, 25 million paying Snap Plus subscription users, and an ecosystem where 8 billion AR lenses are used daily. This is an absolutely formidable foundation for launching consumer AR glasses.
This brings us to a profound core philosophy driving their entire approach to the AI boom. Humanity dictates how technology is adopted. Tech leaders often assume people will just blindly adopt new code, but human comfort and the innate desire for genuine connection will decide which platforms actually survive.
So, can this middle child of tech successfully transition humanity to the next computing platform? Let's do a rapid core review of the hard facts. Snap maintains 1 billion MAUs, processes 8 billion AR lenses daily, and filters hundreds of ideas weekly through a flat 9 to 12 person design team to completely outpace software cloning. Today's core takeaway: if your product is easily coded, it's easily copied. Your only real moat is deeply understanding human anxiety and behavior. Now it's time for the hardcore debate. Is Snap's pivot to physical AR glasses a genius moat-building strategy or a massive hardware pitfall? Leave your reasoning in the comments below. And hey, make sure to leave a comment right now to grab the full mind map and tool list of Snap's playbook from this explainer. Keep looking up.